I think people overlook overtime music in Marvel Rivals. Now, as someone who's been playing ever since the beta, my favorite thing in this game has always been the music. It always will be that handcrafted beauty that I just love listening to. With the new map finally being added in Season 9, I wanted to rank all the overtime themes personally from worst to best. But first, some ground rules. I'll be using the extended versions of the music that have been provided by McreeMartin. I'll be leaving a link to his channel and a playlist for all the Marvel Rivals music in the descriptions below. This may not be one-to-one with the actual game, as they are the extended versions, but I think this would be more fun to do, as you get to analyze them along with the build-up towards them, and this should create a new identity for the overtime music. I will also loosely follow a checklist based on the criteria for a good overtime theme. Those being, does this overtime fit the environment? Does this overtime excel at getting my blood pumping? And generally, do I like the music? While not a definitive end-all be-all checklist, I think it will be a good sense of direction for these rankings. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not a professional in music whatsoever, but with that said, let's get into these overtime rankings. Number 15. I would like to mention that most of these songs are bangers. The Marvel Rivals team have done such an amazing job with these overtime themes. This one is not a certified banger. The bottom of our list, in 15th place, Throne of Null doesn't do what an overtime theme should do. It doesn't get me hyped, it doesn't get me excited about it, and it doesn't increase my heartbeat in any sort of way. But let's start off with some positives. I think it fits the atmosphere quite nicely. At the Throne of Null, Null's the big bad guy for the symbiotes. And you know, the song has a great Dark Souls-esque to it. But that's it. That's all the positives I could give it credit to. This song is forgettable. Even when Resource Rumble had a 2-minute overtime in every match. I did not know this was a different overtime music until I looked it up. Because I thought it was the same as the other symbiote maps. This music is dark, gritty, moody. It's not something I'm trying to listen to when I'm wiping the enemy team or I'm trying to claw back to the point. There's no good scenario for this song to fit into. This is the only overtime theme that I actively dislike. If someone can convince me why this song is good, I'll be ready to hear them out, but I think I'd rather listen to Spider-Man Funhouse than this. Not a hard decision at all to make. Number 14. Symbiotic Surface has an interesting dilemma resonating with me, as I'm not a huge fan of the music itself, and I'm not quite sure about the connection with the map, with what it's trying to tell, but that overtime theme is very effective. Hearing that theme makes me anxious and ready, which is something compared to our previous entry. This overtime theme is at its best when you're about to lose the game. It adds urgency to that is needed to get to the point. The strings really do an immaculate job near the end as well. Even though the orchestra goes hard in this song, it's an okay overtime theme. I think later songs do better. Number 13. It might be something to do with the symbiote maps, or I have a bias against them, but their common theme isn't just something I desire when listening to them. Celestial Husk does their overtime theme a little bit better though, in my opinion, due to the sheer panic that is caused on both sides rather than just the losing side. This music is also more in line with the map compared to the previous two, as the music is much more intense, and with Null's presence being much more prominent, being a big danger factor, a world ender that the music provides. It's a small upgrade from the other symbiote maps, but it is an upgrade nonetheless. Number 12. Heart of Heaven is pretty good. As I'm writing the script for these song choices and making my list rankings, I have the music itself playing in the background, as well as me replaying the beginning several times so I can be sure that what I'm listening to while I script does correlate to my thoughts. The music and the atmosphere are astounding. While I'm listening to this theme, I feel like I am in Kunlun itself. I am a part of the atmosphere that is happening right now. I am writing with grace and precision, and this does not feel like an overtime theme at all. Like, it's great, but it's not like, it doesn't feel like an overtime theme. There's a fine line that you have to be careful not to cross. It's music that would be great for the game with this sort of genre, but it doesn't fit as an overtime music where everyone is in a rush. I will put it above the Symbio maps, as I think it's a great song and it's better than those two, but I don't think it's appropriate for this situation. Number 11. Hell's Heaven is a great baseline for an overtime theme that hits all the marks on our checklist, at least mostly. The music is amazing, and the effectiveness of the overtime theme is just as good. The only thing I would argue is that the connection from music to atmosphere is a little bit loose. Like, the way I see it is that the piano tapping within the song adds a sense of dredge and monotonous planning from Hydra themselves to release this giant thing, and then the orchestra strings section of the music is Hydra releasing something. It's a good finishing touch, though that's all I can really identify. With that said, it's a great overtime theme. The electric guitar slaps, but I think the next two overtime themes do what Hell's Heaven is accomplishing, but better. Number 10. The path to Wakanda is a spiritual path, a path where we do battle to preserve Bast's spirit or to fight alongside the cliffs of Wakanda. With that said, if you play comp, this song is permanently stuck in your cranium. Using the atmosphere to its fullest potential, the intergalactic empire Wakanda, overtime, utilizes instruments from its regions, with banging drums their own chants in the background, while still using a modern instruments to add a little bit more technology to their beat. As you'll see later in the list, I adore choirs as when they're added effectively to music. The choir carries the theme as it adds the presence of Wakanda's people and energy, and gives that rush to get to the point as fast as possible. To me, the choir is the entire song. It's very well done. The only reason that it's not higher on the list is just because I personally don't enjoy the song as much as others. I don't know, it's just not my thing. However, that doesn't mean I can't appreciate the amount of passion and love that was built into this theme. Number 9. Yigsgard is power. Every bit of the song screams power. The electric guitar, the overworldly choir singing into your ear, the electric guitar, along with the powerful thumps of the drums. Did I mention the electric guitar? It's quite fitting though, considering that we are fighting within the royal palace itself, a place for the gods. I feel like a god, ascending upwards, claim the throne room, or to defend it from other weaklings. My only concern with the song is, compared to the other entries, it's pretty lackluster. Like, the song repeats within itself over like a short time period. There's just not too much within the song. I want the song to expand more. But other than that, what a great overtime theme. Number 8. A hero is needed. A hero to stop Dracula's wrath over New York. One to meet him face to face within his own castle. To free. To help all the citizens in need, or else everyone will turn into a vicious vampiric beast. That short excerpt that I told you is the clearest story that I get when listening to the song. This song does an amazing job pairing itself with the atmosphere of the map that it's part of. At first I didn't really enjoy this theme at all. I thought the music was good, but nothing amazing. And then I really sat down and listened to it and really thought about it. The solo is beautiful. It's a valiant cry out for help. In the middle of all of this panic and chaos, you just hear this sole civilian in the city. And like, then the orchestra comes in and really just snaps you back into the combat. I do think previous overtimes have a better ratio when it comes to rushing people to the point as soon as possible, as the effectiveness of this overtime theme is on the lower end of the spectrum. However, the narrative alone wants me to put it higher than those. Number 7. You like jazz? Because I do. Another wow for this entry, as the music is very energetic with the brass. This song is very comparable to Eternal Night, as first I didn't see the appeal to this song, but then I was slowly convinced over the duration of the song. I really thought about the pure passion to make this sound like New York, a take on the jazz genre with a more high energy feel, which is why I think this is ranked higher than its predecessor. Just like Eternal Night, the music establishes itself alongside the atmosphere, where we are experiencing New York in its morning hours, although with less peril compared to Dracula taking over the world. The trumpets are speaking with life, along with the drums. They fill you up with life, along with the guitar piano thing that completes the beat drop. I'll probably like the music more and more as time goes on, but for now, I think this is an excellent piece of music, right above Eternal Night. Not superior in the domination sense, but definitely the better New York and overtime theme. Number 6. Well, this is something I was not ready for. The award for the most unexpected overtime theme goes to Expedition Grand Garden. Grand Garden slaps. I don't usually play 18 vs 18, and even so, I don't think I've ever heard the overtime theme whatsoever. And then I was finally given the opportunity to actually listen to it and be able to hear what's going on and not just the old lines blasting in my ears. Wow. Just a wave of wow. I've never heard a piece of music where I want to visit such a horrible place because the overtime theme is so fun. Like, it has the Paris feel to it that makes me want to sit down and explore this area. Unlike Heart of Heaven, I still can see this being an overtime theme for the map, as it still does have a presenting rush theme to it, especially through the start. It has the tempo and the BPM for it to get things done. What a pleasant surprise coming from this map. Number 5. I have to be blunt. I love this music so much. This is one of the few things that I genuinely search on YouTube to listen to the theme on its own. If it were on Spotify, I would add the Museum of Contemplation to my playlist immediately. The music is so smooth, and yet it adds more wrinkles to my brain as I keep listening to it. This music is the kind of music that is puzzle-inducing, and considering that we're trying to escape this giant maze, I'd say it's a perfect fit. It gets you focused, not like in a lo-fi beats kind of way, but in a way of, I have 10 minutes left to answer 40 questions, I need to lock in for this exam. I also get a visual sense of imagery with a character like within this giant labyrinth that is a museum, climbing their way through the top. Like, I imagine Rogue grabbing Gambit's hand and running at Mach 10 up the stairs while Gambit's barely keeping up. The tempo in the music allows me to connect with the map in a certain way, connecting with Gambit and Rogue on their journey to get out of the Collector's grasp. But I do have to be fair though, and agree that this overtime theme doesn't give a strong sense of urgency. Not as much as the others on this list at least. It gives a passive urgency to remind you that time is on your side, but I have to recognize it's not comparable to the other songs on this list. And I also have to recognize that the connections like to the atmosphere with the museum can be a stretch at times. But despite all that, the music is just so damn good, man. It's something with the beat and the tempo that just synergizes with me to a different level. I personally recommend this song to listen to like on your own time. It's really good. And also, if anyone knows what kind of music this song is, I would be grateful if you let me know. I need more of this genre. Number 4. Do I even need to say why Tokyo 2099 has such a banger overtime theme? The rush. The pure rush once you start hearing this theme is insane. It is textbook definition of an adrenaline boost. Everyone, and I mean everyone, will sit up once they realize it's overtime and this theme starts to play. Everyone will lock the fuck in. The music then leads to this flute like main introduction, which is such an amazing flow to it that is indescribable, with the special kind of percussion that adds to the Shin Shibuya feel. Not to mention, the song gives itself an amazing introduction as well, with the electric guitar strumming in the background. That's something that I didn't even touch upon yet. The electric guitar managed to add a lot without contributing all too much to it. It adds a little bit of urgency to the theme without it being overpowering. It would not be the same without its inclusion. I guarantee you when you think of an overtime theme, this song will come to mind. Spider Islands will always be a top contender for overtime themes for years to come. Number 3. The new map themes did not disappoint with the overtime theme whatsoever. It did far from it. The ancient Egyptian vibe from the start of the song as it transitions into this techno rave that is almost indescribable is pure awe. With the map consisting of street markets at the very first part of the point to then transferring us into the metal pyramid, this song is a perfect fit for the map. This song also hints at a sense of dread within the woodwind sections of the beat, whatever the flute may be. A dread that comes when you enter this pyramid of apocalypse, just looking up to see this giant head of his. Speaking of the beat, I also love the BPM within the song, as it reminds me, along with the beat itself of the song, of a heart beating. Not to only apply pressure to the people playing on the map itself, but also tying in with the lore behind the map as well. Considering heroes are dying and being brought to life from Jews, a heart beating makes perfect sense to add here. The lore and the map connections are brilliant. The music is astounding, and the theme itself gives pressure to the users listening to it. This may be another song to listen to on my long drives. What a fantastic beat to continue Season 9. Blade would be proud. Number 2. Near perfection. The Hellfire Gala is my adrenaline that gets me locked in. Even more than the Spider Islands. I don't know how they could have perfected such a tune that comes from an event, a party from Krakoa, that makes me believe in the party aspects while still being under threat of Ultron's takeover. The clock clicking is easily the best part of all of this. I always think about that damn clock clicking back and forth as the overtime timer runs lower and lower. I am feeling pressured to get this done quickly and effectively. Someone is holding that stopwatch in front of me at all times, and I am doing everything in my power to end it. The music is just a work of art alongside of it. Every time the beat drops, I just get this cleanse. I feel a wave washing over me every time. I really wish I could describe what the instruments are being combined together, but they blend in so well that it's really hard to distinguish them from each other. Like, they just combine into this masterpiece that I can't, like, single out a single instrument. A defining atmosphere, a pure adrenaline rush, and a beat that makes you feel clean after every time it drops. If it's at number 2, what can be better than this? When I was creating this list, I had asked some of my friends on their opinions on their favorite overtime themes. Some help and some even agree. Some even changed my opinion on certain songs. But almost all of them ask why I put this song at number 1. Before I start explaining, I play in front of them and explain with my heart. Chills go down my spine every time I start playing this song, without fail. The beat drop makes me ascend to another plane of existence. A Rocco may be similar to Krakoa, but in my eyes, they are different in how they are composed. They took Krakoa and made it better. The music is much more grounded than Krakoa, due to Arako being overrun by Ultron himself. Arako is trapped underneath this metallic wasteland, trying to break free from this grasp as one team tries to restore it to its former glory, and the defending team is trying to close the gaps to prevent it from escaping. As the overtime music continues, the island is slowly breaking, slowly being joined up with its brother island. It stops being underground and is making that push forward. However, it's not free yet, as we hear the techno music and laser beams emanating from Ultron itself, but it is close to freedom. The music itself is just really selling to me as well. Just alone, the beginning with the clock is in full volume, but the Krakoa theme is faded and muffled until the beat drops. The beginning only has a few key instruments compared to Krakoa at the start as well, making it sound somewhat incomplete, which reminds you what is going on here. Before the very first beat drop, the music is preparing itself until it finally slams into your ears. After that, it feels almost angelic. Similar to Krakoa, every beat drop is a wave washing over me, but it's more relieving when the attacking side and more threatening on the defending side. The drop makes me feel like an energy boost, as it's Arako calling out for help. It is more anxiety inducing when defending due to that same feeling. The clock is more of an effect here as we're running out of time to save the sister island before Ultron fully takes over. The beat is much more effective on attack, but unlike previous entries on this list, it's still very effective for the defending side as you feel its aura. It's just, oh my god. I want to talk about the beat more, the atmosphere that it generates and connects more, as well as the pressure it creates and more. But we'll be here all day. When making this list, I knew that this would be number 1, hands down. But it might be an underrated pick for most people. I implore you that when you're escorting Krakoa's avatar or preventing Arako from escaping your grasp, please listen to this theme when it hits overtime. As there's a reason that this sits number 1 on my list for the top 15 Marvelrivals overtime themes. And I think that's all. I appreciate you guys reaching the end of this video, and thank you for listening to some random guy on the internet talk passionately about their taste of music, obscure music at a video game. In case you were curious, here's the official tier list of, well, the list. Once again, this was a super hard list to make. The middle portions were full of changes and rewrites, and all the songs were just amazing and glorious, except for the bottom 3. If you like this video, feel free to let me know what you guys think of the list in the comments below, as I'll always be eager to read all the comments that you guys leave. With that said, I'll see you guys later. Take care.